Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. My Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is the benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer, just like a cow, who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. Text 18. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when Dhruva Mahāraja, who got good intentions in his heart, finished his prayer, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him, speaking as follows. Text 19. The personality of Godhead said, My
Yeah, you
dear
can
Dhruva,
continue
son.
without referring the text number. Yeah, just like a story reading. Just go on without mentioning the text number
Okay, Prabhuji, and how long, Prabhuji?
till the end.
Okay. The personality of Godhead said, My dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment as good fortune until unto you. The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, My dear Dhruva, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet, just as bulls treat around a central pole for the purpose of crushing grains. Keeping the pole star to the right, all the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kashyapa, and Shukra circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others. After your father goes to the forest and awards you the rule of his kingdom, you will rule continuously the entire world for 36,000 years, and all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old. The Lord continued, Sometime in the future, your brother Uttama will go hunting in the forest, and while absorbed in hunting, he will be killed. Your stepmother, Suruchi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by a forest fire. The Lord continued, I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life, and at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. The personality of a Godhead continued, My dear Dhruva, after your material life in this body, you will go to my planet, which is always offered obeisances by the residents of all other planetary systems. It is situated above the planets of the seven rishis, and having gone there, you will never have to come back again to the material world. The great sage Maitreya said, after being worshipped and honored by the boy, that is Dhruva Maharaja, and after offering him his abode, Lord Vishnu, on the back of Garuda, returned to his abode as Dhruva Maharaja looked on. Despite having achieved and desired result of his determination by worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Dhruva Maharaja was not very pleased. Thus he returned to his home. Sri Vidura inquired, "My dear Brahmana, the abode of the Lord is very difficult to attain. It can be attained only by pure devotional service, which alone pleases the most affectionate, merciful Lord." Dhruva Maharaja achieved this position even in one life, and he was very wise and conscientious. Why then? Why uh, he not very pleased? Maitreya answered, "Dhruva Maharaja's heart, which was pierced by the arrows of the harsh words of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved, and thus, when he fixed upon his goal of life, he didn't forget his misbehavior. He didn't demand actual liberation from this material world. But at the end of this devotional service, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of the material demands he had in his mind. Dhruva Maharaja thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis headed by uh, Sanandana, who practiced Ashtanga yoga in trance, attained the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result, yet, due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. Alas, just look at me. I am so unfortunate. I approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can immediately cut the chain of the repetition of birth and death. But still, out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. Since all the demigods who are situated in the higher planetary system will have to come down again, they are all envious of my being elevated to Vaikuntha Loka by devotional service. These intolerant demigods have dissipated my intelligence, and only for this reason could I not accept the genuine benediction of the instruction of sage Narada. Dhruva Maharaja lamented, "I was under the influence of the illusory energy, being ignorant of the actual facts. I was sleeping in on her lap. Under a vision of duality, I saw my brother as my enemy, and falsely I lamented within my heart, thinking they are all my enemies.
They are my enemies.
They are my enemies." It is difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of
It
Godhead.
is very difficult.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Mhm.
It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in my case, although I have satisfied the super soul of the whole universe, I have prayed only for useless things. My activities were exactly like treatment given to a person who is already dead. Just see how unfortunate I am. For in spite of meeting the Supreme Lord, who can cut one's link with birth and death, I have prayed for the same conditions again. Because of my state of complete foolishness and paucity of pious activities, although the Lord offered me his personal service, I wanted material name, fame, and prosperity. My case is just like the that of the poor man who, when he satisfied a great emperor who wanted to give him anything he might ask, out of ignorance asked only a few broken grains of husked rice. The great sage Maitra continued, "My dear Vidura, persons like you who are pure devotees of the lotus feet of Mukunda, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can offer liberation, and who are always attached to the honey of his lotus feet, are always satisfied in serving at the lotus feet of the Lord. In any condition of life, such persons remain satisfied, and thus they never asked the Lord for material prosperity. When King Uttanapada heard that his son Dhruva was coming back home as if coming back to life after death, he couldn't put his faith in this message, for he was doubtful of how it could happen. He considered himself the most wretched, and therefore he thought that it was not possible for him to attain such good fortune. All, although he couldn't believe the words of the messenger, he had full faith in the word of the great sage Narada. Thus, he was greatly overwhelmed by the news, and he immediately offered the messenger a highly valuable necklace in great satisfaction. The king Uttanapada, being very eager to see the face of his lost son, mounted a chariot drawn by excellent horses and bedecked with golden filigree, taking with him many learned brahmanas, all the elderly personalities of his family, his officers, his ministers, and his immediate friends. He immediately left the city. As he proceeded in this parade, there were auspicious sounds of conch shells, kettle drums, flutes, and the chanting of Vedic mantras to indicate all good fortune. Both the queens of King Uttanapada, namely Suniti and Suruchi, along with his other son Uttama, appeared in the procession. The queens were seated on a palanquin. Upon seeing Dhruva Maharaja approaching the neighboring a small forest, King Uttanapada with great haste got down from his chariot. He had been very anxious for a long time to see his son Dhruva, and therefore, with great love and affection, he went forward to embrace his long lost boy. Breathing very heavily, the king embraced him with both arms. But Dhruva Maharaja was not the same as before. He was completely sanctified by spiritual advancement due to having been touched by the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Re- Reunion with Dhruva Maharaja fulfilled King Uttanapada's long cherished desire, and for this reason he smelled Dhruva's head again and again, and bathed him with torrents of very cold tears. Then Dhruva Maharaja, the foremost of all nobles, first of all offered his obeisance says at the feet of his father and was honored by his father with various questions. He then bowed down his head at the feet of his two mothers. Suruchi, the younger mother of Dhruva Maharaja, seeing that the innocent boy had fallen at her feet, immediately picked him up, embracing him with her hands, and with tears of feeling, she blessed him with the words, "My dear boy, long may you live." Un- Unto one who has transcendental qualities due to friendly behavior with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities offer honor, just as water automatically flows down by nature. The two brothers, Uttama and Dhruva Maharaja, also exchanged their tears. They, are, they were overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love and affection. And when they embraced one another, the hair on the body stood up. Suniti, the real mother of Dhruva Maharaja, embraced the tender body of her son, who was dearer to her than her own life, and thus forgot all material grief, for she was very pleased. My dear Bidura, Suniti was the mother of a great hero. Her tears, together with the milk flowing from her breast, wet the whole body of Dhruva Maharaja. This was a great auspicious sign. The residents of the palace praised the queen. Dear queen, your beloved son was lost a long time ago, and it is your great fortune that he now has come back. It appears, therefore, that your son will be able to protect you for a very long time and will put an end to all your material pangs. Dear Queen, You must have worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead who delivers his devotees from the greatest danger. Persons who constantly meditate upon him surpass the course of birth and death. This perfection is very difficult to achieve. The sage Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, when everyone has thus praising Dhruva Mahāraja, the king was very happy, and he had Dhruva and his brother seated on the back of a she elephant. Thus he returned to his capital, where he was praised by all classes of men. The whole city was decorated with columns of banana trees containing branches of fruits and flowers, and betel nut trees with leaves and branches were seen here and there. There were also many gates set up, which were structured to give appearance of sharks. At each and every gate there were burning lamps and big water pots decorated with differently colored cloth, strings of pearls, flower garlands, and hanging mango leaves. In the capital city, there were many places, city gates, and surrounding walls, which were
Palaces.
already. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, continue. There were many palaces, city gates, and surrounding walls.
Okay, which were already very, very beautiful, and on this occasion, all of them were decorated with golden ornaments. The domes of the city palaces glittered, as did the domes of the beautiful airplanes which hovered over the city. All the quadrangles, lanes, and streets in the city and the race sitting places at the crossings were thoroughly cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood water, and auspicious grains such as rice and barley and flowers, fruits, and many other auspicious presentations were scattered all over the city. Thus, as Dhruva Maharaja passed on the road from every place in the neighborhood, all the gentle household ladies assembled to see him, and out of material affection, they offered their blessings, showering him with white mustard
Yeah, yeah.
seed,
Out of maternal affection.
sorry, not
Yeah,
material,
yeah, go on.
maternal affection. They offered their blessings, showering him with white mustard seed, barley curd, water, newly grown grass, fruits, and flowers. In this way, Dhruva Maharaja, while hearing the pleasing songs sung by the ladies, entered the place of his father. Dhruva Maharaja thereafter lived in his father's palace, which had was bedecked with highly valuable jewels. His affectionate father took particular care of him, and he dwelt in that house, just as the demigods lived in the palaces in the higher planetary systems. The bedding in the palace was as white as the foam of milk and was very soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold, and the chairs, benches, and other sitting places and furniture were made of gold. The palace of king was surrounded by walls made of marble with many engravings made of valuable jewels like sapphires, which depicted beautiful women with shining jewel lamps in their hands. The king's residence was surrounded by gardens, wherein there were varieties of trees brought from the heavenly planets. In those trees, there were pairs of sweetly singing birds and almost mad bumblebees, which made a very relishable buzzing sound. There were emerald staircases which led to lakes full of variously colored lotus flowers and lilies and swans, uh, karandavas, chakravakas, cranes, and similar other valuable birds were visible in those lakes. The saintly king Uttanapada, hearing of the glorious deeds of Dhruva Mahāraja and personally seeing also how influential and great he was, felt very satisfied, for Dhruva's activities were wonderful to the supreme degrees. When after concentration, King Uttanapada saw that Dhruva Maharaja was suitably mature to take charge of the kingdom, and that his ministers were agreeable and the citizens were also very fond of him. He enthroned Dhruva as emperor of this planet. After considering his advanced age and deliberating on the welfare of his spiritual self, King Uttanapada detached himself from the worldly affairs and entered the forest.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. It was a very long chapter, but I hope you had nice time reading.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so what did you realize?
Okay,
What
Prabhuji.
did you
So,
find interesting?
yes, first that Dhruva Maharaja could realize that mm, that that he was his understanding was wrong. Na, he first
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have something material, and for that he um, how is called is this, he did all these austerities now, and but then the supreme personality of God himself appeared, and then so this thing he realized that yeah that is of no use now. Desires of the material things ultimately, what he wanted, that he wanted the abode of the lotus feet of supreme personality of Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
very nice.
yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So let's also benefit from the wonderful purports of Srila Prabhupada for this chapter. And before that, let me offer my prayers. Om Gyanatimrandhasya Gyananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahim Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalan Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parishanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan सह गणललित श्री विशाख अन्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So we are in this pastime of Dhruva Maharaj in the Canto 4, and Maitreya Rishi is narrating this wonderful pastime to Vidura. And in that, when Maitreya Rishi is explaining the lineage of Manu, Swayambhuva Manu. So he was already narrated about the daughters, and then this is about the son Uttanapada. And his son, being Dhruva Maharaj, he was cherishing a desire which was uh, obstructed by his stepmother Suruchi. Uh, so Dhruva Maharaj wanted to sit on the lap of his father. He was just a 5-year boy, which is very normal. Um, to seek attention and affection of the parents, the children are nourished with their feelings. They are not interested in um, getting all kinds of gadgets or all kinds of wealth. They don't know what is the worth of it unless they are said, yeah, if you get money you can make that, if you get money you can do this, so that the interest of the child is then diverted. But in the pure state, they all long for his only love and affection. So here in this case, Dhruva Maharaj, who is 5-year-old boy, he wanted to sit on his father's lap out of affection, to seek his affection. But then Suruchi, she overthought about it, thinking that, okay, this boy is not interested about the love and affection of his father, but actually, yeah, this could lead even to a higher level where he may occupy the throne. Yeah, and actually, the throne is for my son Uttama. Anyway, that pastime in a very detail where we went in the 4th canto 8th chapter, and in 9th chapter we were discussing about um, after the blessing of Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaj has performed such a penance that everything struck, and yeah, all the demigods, they approached the Lord and seek his support, and the Lord assured that. Let there be all auspiciousness for everyone, and he will handle the situation. So after the Lord appeared, Dhruva Maharaj struggled a bit or was confused how to glorify the Lord, because the best thing one can do when we go in temple, or when we um, uh, get the opportunity about to speak about Lord, it's all about glorification. Unless we are demons, unless we are having demonic propensity, the demigods and devotees, what they do is they take every moment as an opportunity to glorify the Lord. But how can we glorify when we do not know enough about the Lord? We only know like a very, very vague, high level greatness of the Lord, but not details. And to glorify, when we have the details, then we can actually glorify the Lord. So, in that kind of perplexity, when Dhruva Maharaj was there, Lord Vishnu, he has touched the forehead of Dhruva Maharaj with the conch shell, and just because of that, he has become Vedantist. He got all the understanding of the Vedas and Vedanta Sutras, so everything, which enabled him to glorify the Lord in a great way, great fashion. And the Lord is pleased. That is also another aspect, that Lord is giving ability, Lord is giving intelligence, Lord is giving every facility so that we can be successful in this life by practicing bhakti. So if the Lord is giving his intelligence, it doesn't mean that we can use it for becoming more atheist or material advancement, but actually the purpose of all this intelligence is to glorify the Lord. So in that way, when Dhruva Maharaj was glorifying the Lord, and the Lord is pleased, that yes, indeed the purpose is solved. Let's continue from there. So here he says that, my Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. So we can feel the feelings of Dhruva Maharaj. What is the feeling of Dhruva Maharaj? Is in back of his mind, he is still in a state of confusion, like, oh, what did I do? No? What did I do? Because these are the verses that will come. What is that? Due to which he is now bringing up this very important point that worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king. Yeah, this is also a very nice point that for us, do we want to become the company managers? Do we want to become boss of the boss of the boss? And we think that is the best. No, Dhruva Maharaj, who had attained perfection, what he is desiring is what? Worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer. Just like a cow who takes care of newly born calf by supplying milk and giving it protection from attack. This also, I mean, every verse can help us to go hours together discussing the benefits and glories of devotional service. Here, Dhruva Maharaj is appreciating the glories of devotional service. Why? Because the shelter of the Lord is so potent that uh, one can appreciate the greatness of the Lord, who is merciful, yeah, maintaining us. So there where we were last week. We'll continue from there. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Just okay. There is. Please give me 1 second. Okay, no, I have it. So here, then here we say the personality of Godhead said, "My dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows." This is very nice. When we take up vows, yeah, especially we are talking about the vows that can help us to go far beyond the barriers of this material challenges. These vows are our supporting pillars. Like no meat eating is a vow that we take for life, which means that when we don't eat meat, what is a big thing? Okay, what a big thing if I eat meat. But once we take a vow that I don't eat, then what is happening is that empowers us, that helps us, that supports us. Because if we don't take a vow, if I don't take a vow of chanting japa so and so number of rounds per day, then we have full freedom. One day we do 10 rounds, one day we do 1 round, one day we don't do rounds at all. But when we take vow, then that is self-disciplining. But it's not just self-disciplining, but it's actually attracting the mercy of the Lord. Here, that's what we see. My dear Dhruva, son of, you have executed pious vows, which means, why is the Lord referring here? Because He likes it. He likes that one takes to vows, discipline oneself, and execute them. And I also know the desire within your heart. So this is the next part. So one thing is that the Lord is aware of everything. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment, all good fortune unto you. So here the Lord is worshipping or taking the devotional path is the best means. Why? Because there is nothing impossible one can attain. Everything is possible by the mercy of the Lord. Even very, very difficult, or even if we are ambitious, over ambitious than what we deserve, we don't know how much we deserve, what we deserve. But by the grace of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, everything is accomplishable, even if our ambitions are hmm, beyond what we afford for. Yeah. And Lord continued, I shall award you the glowing planet known as Polster. Here, in the purport, yeah, so let's go here in the purport of 19 here. So here we see that the Lord is so merciful to his devotees that he immediately said, let there be all good fortune for you. And here the fact is that Dhruva Maharaj was very much afraid in his mind, for he had aspired after material benefit in discharging his devotional service. So there is a motive. There is a motive here of Dhruva Maharaj when he was offering his penance and practicing his tapasya, right? So at that time, the Lord knows, and Dhruva Maharaj also knows. But as soon as the Lord appeared, he just blessed him, all good fortune unto you. Hmm. And Dhruva Maharaj was very much afraid in his mind. Okay, oh, if Lord will give what I asked, what will happen? So, in this regard, here we see that in Bhagavad Gita, there is this Bhogeshwarya Prasaktanam. Those who are addicted to material pleasure cannot be attracted to devotional service. Isn't it? When the Lord is saying that, this means that one who is attached to the material things, then how can there be this flourishment of devotion? No, it's not possible. This is what Krishna is saying. And then, if Dhruva is blessed with this material opulent kingdom or whatever he desires, if that is material aspiration is fulfilled, then it will be coming uh, in his way to the devotional life, right? It will obstruct. So it was true that at the heart of Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted a kingdom that would be far better than Brahmaloka. So this is also the desire, right? A Kshatriya always want to become not ruler of a small village, not just a small kingdom, but he want to be Chhatrapati or even beyond that. He want to be the head of the king of whole universe, world. At that time, already Uttanapada was king of the world, but for him, he wanted to become even beyond that. Not even just Uttanapada, he wanted to become a ruler beyond Uttanapada level, which means even beyond Manu and beyond Brahma. So he want to attain even higher stage, the best of everything. Yeah, this is what we, as kid we want. This is what he says. He was only 5 years old, and in his childish way, he desired to have a kingdom far greater than his father, grandfather, or great grandfathers. So, so this is what. So the Lord knew Dhruva Maharaj's childish ambition, but how was it possible to offer Dhruva a position more exalted than Lord Brahma's? We know that Lord Brahma is a creator. From him everything is coming in the universe. So the Lord assured Dhruva that Dhruva would not be bereft of Lord's love. That is very important, and that kept him like, okay, that he's safe by even though if the material benefit is given, but the Lord is taking care of him. So he encouraged Dhruva not to be worried that he childishly had material desires, and at the same time he had pure devotional opulent pure devotee. Generally, the Lord does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruva Maharaj's case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. So this also is a special case. We know that Lord will give what we need. He will take away what we don't need as a caring, what is it called, bhavavit. So the one who is understanding our bhav and accordingly he sees, okay, no, this is not good. He will, but I mean, the Lord is not like demigods, where the demigods are obliged if one performs a sacrifice, whether it is for a good reason or a bad reason, for his own benefit or harmful for others. Demigods are pleased and they shower the blessing, that the reward. But the Lord is not like that. He is ensuring that his lost child, who has lost his intelligence and left him, comes to a point that he appreciates bhakti and joins him. But here the Lord, he not only gave him the spiritual benefit that we will read later, but he also still gave him material opulence. Why? Because here it said that, but Dhruva Maharaj's case was different. Lord knew that he was such a great devotee. So Lord giving to Dhruva Maharaj is justified. Why? Because Dhruva is a devotee, which also I think it comes in this purport or the next one, that this example illustrates a highly qualified devotee can have the facility of material enjoyment and at the same time execute love of God. So sometimes people may ask, hey, why they are having such a lavish bangla facilities, car and servants and all these things. After all, they are devotees. Yeah, they are devotees, but they are on a big mission to please the Lord, to serve the Lord in a very big scale. Hmm? Srila Prabhupada left at the age of 69 and he established ISKCON and spread the word of the Lord all over the world. And of course, there are people who have served him like a king. Some have arranged a very nice, most comfortable, whatever one can afford, the best comfort that one can give, that's offered to the spiritual master. So one should not say, no, what? Prabhupada has crossed all the 7 oceans, so he is no more a sadhu. So many things people bring from Shastric point of view, just not appreciating the greatness that he has brought to the world. So this, however, was a special case for Dhruva Maharaj. So in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, this has happened. And then, and next, here we see that the Lord continues, I shall award you the glowing planet known as Polestar, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. So here is saying that the Lord is giving Dhruva Maharaj what he wanted. What he wanted was, he wanted something beyond what even his great grandfather has. And the Lord is giving that. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet, just as a bull treads around the central pole. We know this, how in the olden days grains were crushed to extract oil. Keeping the pole star to their right, all the star inhabitants by great sages circumambulate this planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others. And in this, Prabhupada is explaining that a small child may demand something from his father which his father has never given to anyone else. Yet out of affection, the father offers to the child it to the child. Similarly, this unique planet, Dhruvalok, was offered to Maharaj Dhruva. The specific significance of this planet is that until the entire universe is annihilated, this planet will remain. Even during the devastation which takes place during the night of Lord Brahma, still this planet is there. And what is happening after that? It's coming here. The Lord assured Dhruva that he would exist beyond the partial dissolution of the universe, and what happens thus at the end of complete dissolution, what is happening is Dhruva Maharaj would go directly to Vaikuntha, to a spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Dhruva Loka is one of the lokas like Svetadvipa, Mathura, and Dwaraka. They are all eternal places in the kingdom of Godhead. And the word Parastat Kalpa Vasinam, transcendental to the planets inhabited by the dissolution, after dissolution, refers to Vaikuntha Lok. So, in other words, Dhruva Maharaj's promotion to Vaikuntha was guaranteed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which means even. One second. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my Bluetooth headset was out of battery. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaj's promotion to the Vaikuntha Lokas was guaranteed. So when one approaches the Lord, and Lord can benefit a person in such a way that all his ambitions can be fulfilled, whether it's material or spiritual. And of course, this shouldn't motivate us that okay, we can aspire for material benedictions, but we will also see what happens. Yeah, so in the next verses, a series of verses. Here we understand that after your father goes to the forest, and this is further detail, yeah. So that you will be ruling the kingdom for 36,000 years. And in this connection, Prabhupada is mentioning that this we know that this episode is happening when Lord Brahma's son, Manu's son, Uttanapada. So all this has happened in Satya Yuga, and the life of a person in Satya Yuga is 1,000, what is it?
100,000, sir.
100,000?
Yeah, 100,000. Yeah.
Or 1,100? Both are same.
100,000.
Okay. So that many years, and 36,000 years of ruling is not a impossible thing. Yeah. So Lord continues, sometimes in future your brother will be hunted in the forest. When he goes, he'll be killed, and his stepmother will be also um, uh, will be suffering. And then in this, is it 23? Yeah, 23, 24 are very nice verses. So here we also see that your stepmother Suruchi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by a forest fire. This is a very nice, in the purport Prabhupada mentions that one should be very, very careful dealing with Vaishnavas. It is, one should not feel envious as soon as when we hear that dealings with Vaishnavas should be nice. No, it's not it's not because of that, it's a fact. And this is one example. Dhruva Maharaj came to the forest to search out for the Supreme Lord. Why? With a revenging spirit against his stepmother. His stepmother had insulted Dhruva. That is what, yeah, in one way we may see that, okay, because of that Dhruva Maharaj has become a devotee. No, actually Dhruva Maharaj is already devotee, but this is not manifested. His stepmother had insulted Dhruva, who was not an ordinary person but a great Vaishnava. An offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava is the greatest offense in the world. Because of having insulted Dhruva Maharaj, Suruchi would become mad upon the death of her son. This is what, and she finally dies. This was specially mentioned by Lord to Dhruva because he was determined for revenge against her. From this, we should take the lesson that we should never try to insult a Vaishnava. Not only should we not insult a Vaishnava, but we should not insult anyone unnecessarily. When Suruchi insulted Dhruva Maharaj, he was just a child. She, of course, did not know that Dhruva Maharaj was a great recognized Vaishnava, and so her offense was committed unknowingly. When one serves a Vaishnava unknowingly, one still gets good results. And if one unknowingly insults a Vaishnava, one suffers the bad results. So it's not only that by serving a Vaishnava unknowingly we benefit, Agyata Sukriti, but also when we are insulting a Vaishnava, such can harm us very badly. A Vaishnava is especially favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Pleasing him or displeasing him directly affects the pleasure and displeasure of the Supreme Lord. And in this connection, very, very important, I mean, quote, very powerful. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, yeah, we know in this Mangala Guru Ashtakam, yeah, that during the Mangalarti we do is the last one, yeah, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. By pleasing the spiritual master, who is a pure Vaishnava, one pleases the personality of Godhead. But, very important. But if one displeases the spiritual master, very careful. If you read this line, we should really feel scared. But if one displeases the spiritual master, one does not know where he is going. Yeah, this is like Prabhupada is in the commentary here in the purport. He is not even mentioning what is the destination. He's saying that destination can be unimaginable. Yeah, don't be scared. Yeah, but this is what. So here we see that displeasing spiritual master can be an end to an era of hope of achieving devotion in this life or in any life. Yeah. So here the Lord continues saying that I am the heart of all sacrifices. And this 24 is very nice because in the purport Prabhupada is mentioning This is the secret of success. If we want to know what is that secret to our success, this is the secret. Here, I am the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life, and at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. We know that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that it all depends what are we thinking when we are leaving the body. Yeah, anta kale chamam. When we are leaving the body, mukta kalevaram, when we are leaving this body, what is that we are remembering? If we remember Krishna, we will go. But what is the way? What is the technique that we can remember Krishna at that last moment? That is mentioned here. The most important factor in this verse is the Lord's instruction regarding how to remember the Supreme Person of Godhead at the end of the life. Ante Narayana Smriti. What is this? The result of whatever we do in executing devotional spiritual activities successful if we can remember Narayan. So now let's imagine if someone is just doing a charity. I mean, this tomorrow we will also discuss. If someone is just giving money, what is the chance that he may remember the Lord at the end of his life? Not so much, because yeah, he's just giving. Yeah, whatever he had, he's just giving, but not remembering the Lord directly. So here, what is really said a success is when we are really remembering the Lord at that last moment. Ante Narayana Smriti. So this program of constant remembrance can be disturbed by many things. If I am just doing pious activities, giving charities, and but if I'm not able to detach from material engagement of life, always mind will be occupied with those things. So when mind is occupied with so many such desires, such difficulties, such botherations that will come at the end of life, that will also be coming in front of us. So this program of constant remembrance can be disturbed by many things, but Dhruva Maharaj's life would be so pure as assured by the Lord himself. Now Dhruva Maharaj is blessed devotee. By the blessings of the Lord, what is happening? Dhruva has attained success, and though he is enjoying or he is serving, whatever way we see this material, that 36,000 years he will be still on the planet and then ruling the kingdom, but he will not be disturbed. Why? Because the Lord has blessed him. Thus, at the time of his death, he would remember the Supreme Lord, and before his death, he would enjoy this material world, not by sense gratification, but by performing great sacrifices. It is not that Dhruva is attaining the success because he's ruling. It's his dharma. That's why he's following dharma. That's why he's people may have heard. We may have heard, people saying, "Manava seva, Madhava seva." So if we serve the mankind, then the Lord is pleased, and then we attain success. No. If Dhruva Maharaj is ruling the kingdom and taking care of the citizens, that itself is not the cause why he is guaranteed ultimate success. It is that he is serving. He is not enjoying. He's not taking the kingdom for his pleasure. He's serving. And in the service, what he is doing, very important, he is doing sacrifices. As stated in the Vedas, when one performs great sacrifices, he must give charity not only to Brahmanas but also to Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. It is assured here that Dhruva Maharaj would be able to perform such activities. But now, in the age of Kali, what happens? It is a Sankirtan Yajna, the sacrifice. What kind of sacrifice? We are very, very, very fortunate that we are in a golden era. In spite of in a age of quarrel and hypocrisy, there is still a safe line. A safe line. What is the safe line? Is when we are under the protection of this Sankirtan Yajna, then we can be successful. In this way, we shall continuously perform Sankirtan Yajna and continuously chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Then at the end of our lives, we shall certainly be able to remember Krishna, and our program of life will be successful. This is one technique. This is one. And the second powerful is, in this age, distribution of prasadam has replaced the distribution of money. As we already saw that money, how much money one has that they are able to distribute. Every moment we see, do I have sufficient money for? No. If I give, no, come on, how much I have very less. If I have to sustain because of inflation, because of attrition, because of so many nations, how to manage? Huh? We don't have so much money. How to get the success? The opportunity sacrifices. In charities, the charities that is recommended in this age, one because of not having sound financial situation. Of course, if one has, he should engage it so that he gets the detachment, taste of detachment, and engage in service. But what one should do is distribute prasadam. Why? It is said, but if we distribute Krishna prasadam as far as possible, this is more valuable than distribution of money. So this is what here he says, and then the Lord continued. He said that, okay, after your material life in this body, you will go to my planet. This my planet is very important. Prabhupada also mentions this Dhruva Lok, the pole star, is my planet, which is always offered obeisances by the residents of all other planetary systems. It is situated above the planets of the seven rishis. So where is this Dhruva planet? It is after we see this. Therefore, Dhruva planet is the abode of Lord Vishnu, or the abode of Lord Vishnu within this material world. Upon it, there is an ocean of milk, milky ocean, and above that there is Svetadvipa. And we know that at the shore of the Svetadvipa, all the demigods, including Brahma, will go to solve their problems by appealing to Lord Vishnu, who is Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. I think that is mentioned. Yeah, okay. It is clearly indicated that this planet is situated above the Saptarishi Mandal. Yeah, we know the seven rishis where they stay, because this planet is Vishnu Lok. It is worshipped by all other planetary systems. It may be questioned here, what will happen to the planet known as Dhruva Lok at the time of dissolution of this universe? What happens? Dhruva Lok remains like other Vaikuntha planets, beyond this universe. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented in this connection that the very word Navartate indicates that this planet is eternal. And then, so the Lord awarded, this is what Maitreya Rishi is saying, after being worshipped and honored by the boy, and after offering him his abode, Lord Vishnu on the back of Garuda returned to his abode as Dhruva Maharaj looked. And here, from this verse, it appears that Lord Vishnu awarded Dhruva Maharaj the same abode in which the Lord resides. His abode is described in Bhagavad Gita, Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So in that, so that is the understanding that what Dhruva Maharaj attained is beyond even what Lord Brahma or the Sapta Rishis have. So here, and after the Lord left, now we hear to the episode that Dhruva Maharaj is now feeling, despite having achieved the desired results, Dhruva Maharaj was not very pleased. Is he very, very greedy? Is he very, very, because come on, he has the benefit of both spiritual and material. Usually we know that if we want to advance spiritually, we have to sacrifice a lot of material comforts, or if one is a materialist, he has no benefit he will get, because he is so much attached, and he will not get. If one is a meat eater, then there is no compassion. When there is no compassion, then he cannot become a devotee. But here we see that Dhruva Maharaj is benefited twofold. He has become the king. He want to, and then he also has an eternal spiritual residence. Despite having achieved the desired results, Dhruva was not very pleased. Then he returned home. And here in the purport, Prabhupada is bringing this. His desire was to get a very exalted position, excelling that of his father, grandfather, great grandfather. And although it was a somewhat childish determination, because Dhruva Maharaj was nothing but a small child, Lord Vishnu is so kind and merciful. I think in this purport also there is a nice point. But a small child, uh, so merciful that he fulfilled Dhruva's desire. Dhruv Maharaj wanted a residence more exalted than any ever occupied by anyone else in his family. Therefore, he uh, was completely sat. Therefore, he was offered the planet in which the Lord personally resides, and his determination was completely satisfied. Still, when Dhruva Maharaj returned home, he was not very much pleased. For although in pure devotional service there is no demand from the Lord, because of his childish nature, he had demanded something. Hmm. So here, one of the reasons why he is not so happy is because uh, Lord usually doesn't like to give material opulences. Because he knows that this is the barrier, this is a kind of a undesirable thing. uh, so but because he had this desire, that's why he's feeling, because of my somehow the Lord was forced, or put in this situation that he has given. Thus, although the Lord also fulfilled his desire, he was not very much pleased. Rather, he was ashamed that he had demanded something from the Lord, for he should not have done this. Hmm. And then now here, through the words of now Vidura is asking, what is this? It is very sudurlabham, I think. Yeah, sudurlabham. Yeah, sudurlabham yat paramam padam. Hare. It's very difficult to attain the abode of the Lord. It's very difficult. It can be attained only by pure devotional service, which alone pleases the most affectionate, merciful Lord. So, if you want to please the Lord, the only thing that can be, it is only devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj achieved this position even in one life, and he was very wise and conscientious. Why then was he not very pleased? Hmm? So this is what, and then he, in this reference, Vidura is addressing Dhruva Maharaj as where is that? Uh, yeah, Arthavit, being Artha with one who is wise. So the child, though is 5 years old, he is very uh, uh, wise, and Arthavit is also called Paramahamsa. Yeah. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaj is a great Paramahamsa. Yeah, from here. A Paramahamsa accepts only the active principle of everything. Just as a swan accepts only the milk from a mixture of water and milk, a Paramahamsa accepts only the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his life and soul, neglecting all external material things. Dhruva Maharaj was in this category, and due to his determination, he achieved the result he desired. But still, when he returned home, he was not very pleased. So, and now Maitreya Rishi, Vidura is asking why he is not pleased, and Maitreya Rishi is narrating what was in the heart uh, of Dhruva, due to which he was not happy. He was not pleased. Is Dhruva Maharaj's heart, which was pierced by the arrows of the harsh word of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved, and thus, when he fixed upon his goal of life, he did not forget her misbehavior. So, what was the thing when he had the fortune of a spiritual master who asked him right questions? Don't give. While testing, he asked, "You are a boy. How can you take up insult?" All these things. But it was there when he was doing the penance. He did not demand actually liberation from this material world, but at the end of his devotional service, when the Supreme Lord appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of material demands he had in his mind. So that's why he was not um, happy. And then in this, a pure devotee is always free from any kind of material desires. In the material world, one's material desires are all most demonic. And in there is also yeah, there is some other reference here. Yeah, one to become topmost leader or topmost person in the world, and thus one competes with one another. This has been described. A pure devotee has no demand from the Lord. His only concern is to serve the Lord sincerely and seriously, and he is not at all concerned about what will happen in the future. In the Mukunda Mala Stotra, King Kulashekara, author of the book, states in his prayer, "My dear Lord, I don't want any position of the sense gratification within this material world. I simply want to engage in your service perpetually." And from Shikshashtakam, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "My Lord, I do not want any amount of material wealth. I do not want any number of material followers, nor do I want any attractive wife to enjoy. The only thing I want is that I may engage life after life in your service." Uh, Lord Chaitanya did not even want mukti. I think about mukti we will discuss later. Yeah, we'll discuss later. So in this verse, Maitreya Rishi replied to Vidura that Dhruva Maharaj, influenced by revengeful attitude towards his insulting stepmother, did not think of mukti, nor did he know what mukti was. Therefore, he failed to aim for mukti as his goal in his life. Huh? But what is the position that Dhruva Maharaj attained is this position realized by Dhruva Maharaj when he saw the Supreme Lord present personally before him, because he was elevated to Vasudeva platform. And I think the definition of Vasudeva comes here. Yeah. The Vasudeva platform refers to the stage at which material contamination is conspicuous by absence only, or in other words, where there is no question of material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, and one can therefore see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because in on the Vasudeva platform, one can see God face to face. The Lord is also called Vasudeva. Dhruva Maharaj's demand was for a position so exalted that it was never enjoyed even by Brahma. Ah, Krishna is so affectionate and kind toward his devotee, especially to a devotee like Dhruva Maharaj, who went to render devotional service in the forest alone at age of only 5 years. Hmm, that although the motive, this is what is again another important, although the motive might be impure, the Lord does not consider the motive. He is concerned with what? With the service. But if a devotee has a particular motive, the Lord directly or indirectly knows it, and therefore he does not leave the devotee's material desires unfulfilled. These are some of the special favors by the Lord, which means even if there is some other reason why we approach the Lord, the Lord knows everything. Because the Lord knows everything, so he ensures that the devotee is pleased. Dhruva Maharaj was offered Dhruvaloka, a planet that was never resided upon by any conditioned soul. Even Brahma, although the topmost living creature within this universe, was not allowed to enter Dhruvaloka. Yeah? Whenever there is a crisis within this universe, the demigods go to the Lord. Yeah, this is what we are talking about. Kshirodakashai Vishnu, Sweta Dvipa, and Dhruva Maharaj attained a planet near there. And now this purport is telling about mukti. Here in this verse, the Lord is described as Muktipati, the Lord who grants mukti. Yeah, why? One under whose lotus feet there are all kinds of mukti. And now there are these muktis, 5 muktis, and of course Prabhupada is picking one which usually Mayavadis aspire, which is Sayujya Mukti, means to become one with the Lord, with the Brahma Jyoti. In the opinion of many scholars, this Sayujya Mukti, although counted among the 5 kinds of mukti,
Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna.
We are not hearing. I was just confirming. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. 1 minute. Prabhuji is reading
Yeah.
still. I will tell him. Go on. Tell him.
Okay, okay.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. From where I got disconnected?
Sayujya Mukti from
Sayujya Mukti. Okay. So Sayujya Mukti. It is. We see from the purport that Sayujya Mukti is not really Mukti, because even if one goes there, Mukti is something that one doesn't return. Yeah, one is freed from the suffering, and Sayujya Mukti is that one is not having the opportunity to render service, so it's not so tasty. Just imagine if one is given what is it? Sugarcane pulp. Yeah, after everything juice is gone, one may still kind of chew it, but there is after all there is no juice, and one will think, no, let me take up another sugarcane. So because there is no life in, no point of being in Brahma Jyoti, so they want to come back and start rendering services. Therefore, Vaishnava philosophers do not accept Sayujya Mukti to be within the category of Mukti. According to them, Mukti means transferal to the loving service of the Lord from one's position of serving Maya. That is what is Mukti. Mukti means not just relief, but actually coming while taking to devotion whatever is happening. That is what is Mukti. Lord Chaitanya also says in this connection that the constitutional position of living entity is to render service to the Lord. That is real Mukti. When one is situated in his original position, giving up artificial position, he is called Mukta, liberated. So here, anyone who engages in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord is considered to be Mukta or Brahma Mukta, Brahma Bhuta. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that a devotee is considered to be on the Brahma Bhuta platform when he has no metal contamination. In Padma Puran also it's confirmed, Mukti means engagement in the service of the Lord. So anyway, and then this is what I was looking. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says that if one is elevated to real pure devotional service, he considers even great demigods like Brahma and Indra to be on an equal level with an insignificant insect. The reason is that an insignificant insect has a desire for sense gratification, and even a great personality like Lord Brahma also wants to dominate this material nature. So that's how a Vaishnava sees that, understands the position of a bhogi and a bhakta. Sense gratification means domination over material nature. The whole competition between conditioned soul. Anyway, I mean, I would say that please read this purport. This is giving um, more insights into understanding this. Yeah. He, in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, became situated on Vasudeva platform due to seeing Lord face to face. All his metal contamination was cleared. Thus, he became ashamed of what his demands were and what he had achieved. He was very much ashamed to think that although he had gone to Madhuvan, yeah, we know that Madhuvan is Tirthasthan, the place which is empowered by the Lord's potency, and after that, giving up the kingdom of his father, and he had gotten a spiritual master like Narada Muni, he was still thinking of revenge against his stepmother and wanted to occupy an exalted position within this material world. These were the causes of his morousness. When Dhruva Maharaj factually saw the Supreme Lord, there was no question of a revengeful attitude towards his stepmother, nor any aspiration to lord it over the material world. But the Supreme Personality is so kind that he knew that Dhruva Maharaj wanted these. Speaking before Dhruva Maharaj, he used the word Vedaham. Yeah, this is the word that says, because when Dhruva Maharaj demanded material benefits, the Lord was present within his heart, and so he knew everything. The Lord fulfilled all Dhruva Maharaj's desires. His revengeful attitude toward his stepmother and stepbrother was satisfied. His desire for a more exalted position than that of his great grandfather was fulfilled, and at the same time, his eternal position in Dhruvaloka was fixed. Although Dhruva Maharaj's achievement of an eternal planet was not conceived by him, Krishna thought, what will Dhruva do with an exalted position within this world? Therefore, he gave even better than that. He gave. And after finishing all this material enjoyment, Dhruva would be promoted to the spiritual world, which includes the Dhruva Loka. So Dhruva Maharaj is now telling what he was thinking. Samadhina Naika. So he's saying, what happened to me? He's just feeling very sad, down. And he was thinking to himself that to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task. This is the gyan that he got when the realization he has when he had the darshan of the Lord. Because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana who practiced Ashtanga Yoga, they need lot of time to attain the perfection. But within 6 months I achieved the same result. Yet due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. This is very nice. It is a big, valuable, introspective thing that we should put to ourselves. We may think that I am very intelligent, or at least I am privileged in my own position, own qualification, own services. Then we should understand this very important thing that I am given the ability to understand this science of God, then I should use it properly. Dhruva Maharaj, who was able to, like he is comparing with some others who took so much time. In our life, we may see some are very, very quick to understand the essence. Some are not so. Here Dhruva is saying, I could achieve it quickly, which means he is blessed, he has the ability, he has taken this austerity and everything. So which we are talking about able person, a person who is an expert. But expertise is not means that we desire something wrong. Like Dhruva Maharaj is saying that, oh, I have that capacity, but what did I use for? I didn't use it properly. This is what he was feeling bad. Dhruva Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years because in the beginning he was under the spell of material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. That's fine. Anyway, until 36th verse it will go like this, but afterwards, we will close soon, very soon. 5 more verses. Alas, just look at me. I am so unfortunate. I approach the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead who can immediately cut the chain of repetition of birth and death. But still out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. Another thing. This, one second. So, 31, yeah. So here is saying that what is this? The word here uses anatmyam. Anatmyam means atma means soul. Anatmyam means without any conception of soul. And Srila Rishabdev instructed his sons. This also is very powerful purport. Here he says that unless a human being comes to the point of understanding the atma or spiritual position, whatever he does is ignorance, and this brings only defeat in his life. So the first and foremost thing we need to know is I am the soul, and function based on that understanding. Dhruva Maharaj rejects his unfortunate position, for although he approaches Supreme Lord, he who is always able to give his devotee highest benediction, which is impossible for any demigod to offer, he foolishly wanted something perishable. When Hiranyakashipu asked, I want immortality. See what a kind of desire that Hiranyakashipu had, immortality. But Brahma could not give it. Harim vina na mritim taranti. It is said that without the blessings of Hari, No one can stop the continuous chain of birth and death within this material world. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is called Bhavachit. The Vaishnava philosophy in the process of Krishna consciousness prohibits the devotee from all kinds of material aspirations. A Vaishnava devotee should always be Anya Bhilashita Sunya, free from all material aspirations, but very careful. Not any aspiration, only material aspiration. Dhruva Maharaj was actually initiated by Narad Muni, the greatest Vaishnava in the chanting of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This mantra is a Vishnu mantra, so that's why he is initiated into Vaishnavism. Dhruva Maharaj regrets that although he was initiated in the Vishnu mantra by Vaishnava, he still aspired for material benefit. So when we take Diksha, what should be our aspiration? It should not be for material benefit, relief from suffering, good health, and all these things, but it should be more towards what? How best I can engage in the service. That was another cause for his lamentation. Although he got the result of Vishnu mantra by causeless mercy of the Lord, he lamented how foolish he was to have strived for material benefits while practicing devotional service. In other words, every one of us who is engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness should be completely free from all material aspirations. Otherwise, we will have to lament like Dhruva Maharaj. A very, very powerful warning. And I'm looking for that one that I think it will come later. Yeah, that will come later. So, with that, then he is further thinking to himself, since all the demigods who are situated in the higher planetary system will have to come and down, it could be that I am cheated like this because of some magic played by whom? By Devas. Matir vidusita devair patabdir patadbhir asanishnu bhihi yo narada vacha tatyam nagrahi sam asattamaha. So here is saying that what is this? It could be because and Prabhupada in purport, we may not understand this. So Prabhupada helps us to understand that in Vedic Puranas we hear a lot of places where when some great yogi is doing penances, then the demigods they come and try to stop it. Like when we talk about Vishwamitra Muni, then the demigod sent whom? Menaka. So in that way, it is known to them that their position in higher planetary systems is impermanent, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita. It is said in the Gita that after exhausting the results of their pious activities, all the demigods who are inhabitants of higher planetary systems have to come back to this earth. So, but what Dhruva Maharaj got is far above. So maybe he may excel. So that's why maybe because of some envy or whatever, the demigods now would have thought everyone is controlled by them. Dhruva Maharaj's conclusion is that these demigods, being envious of his superior position in devotional service, conspired against him to pollute his intelligence. Now Dhruva Maharaj is regretting. Maybe that is the reason. Regretted very much that he had neglected these instructions. Narad Muni had asked him, "Why should you bother about insult or adoration?" We remember when Narad Muni was testing, he asked this. Why should you bother about insult or adoration from your stepmother? He of course said to Dhruva Maharaj that since Dhruva was only a child, what did he had to do with such insult or adoration? But Dhruva Maharaj was determined to achieve the benediction. Therefore, Narada advised him to go back home for time being, and in mature time he could try to practice devotional service. But we know Dhruva Maharaj regretted that he had rejected the advice of Narada Muni and was adamant in asking him for something perishable, namely revenge against his stepmother for her insult and possession of king of his father. So here, the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj is regretting very much that he could not take seriously the instruction of his spiritual master, and that this consciousness was therefore contaminated. Still, the Lord is merciful, so merciful that he offered Dhruva the ultimate Vaishnava goal. Yeah. And then here, Dhruva Maharaj lamented. Why? Because I was under the influence of illusory energy, Maya. Being ignorant of the actual facts, I was sleeping on her lap. Under a vision of duality, I saw my brother as my enemy. Falsity, I lamented within my heart, thinking they are my enemies. And here, the purport, it's nice. The real knowledge is revealed to a devotee only when he comes to the right conclusion about life by the grace of Lord. Our creation of friends and enemies within this material world is something like dreaming at night. This whole purport is on the basis of this dreaming. Yeah, whatever we are feeling, some are friends, some are not friends. It's like a dream in night. In dreams, we create so many things out of various impressions in the subconscious mind, but all such creations are simply temporary and unreal. In the same way, although apparently we are awake in the material life, huh, although we are awake, we are hearing, we are seeing, we are talking real, we think this is real. Because we have no information of soul and the super soul, we create many friends and enemies simply out of imagination. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that within this material world or material consciousness, good and bad are the same. What does that mean? Whatever we are seeing, good and bad. Oh, this is good means we think it's nice. If it is bad, we think it is not nice. In the material world, both good and bad are same. How? The distinction between bad and good, good and bad is simply a mental concoction. Sometimes now we think, hey, this is good for me. What is the guarantee that that is good? Or we think this is bad. What is the guarantee that is bad happened to us? It is only concoction. The actual fact is that all living entities are sons of God, which means everyone, there is no enemy to us. That is a real understanding. Either materially or spiritually, we are basically one, but we make friends and enemies as dictated by illusory energy. So now Dhruva Maharaj is therefore saying, Daivi Maya Upashritya, the cause of this bewilderment was his association with the illusory material energy. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Lord, but in my case, although I have satisfied the super soul, I have prayed only for useless things. My activities were exactly like treatment given to a person who is already dead. What is the value of treating a dead man? No value. Just see how unfortunate I am, for in spite of meeting the Supreme Lord, when one goes to the Supreme Lord, what should we ask for? It's like, who can cut one's link with birth and death? I have prayed for same conditions again. So I have asked material things which will kind of bind me in this world again and again. So that is what he's feeling sad for. Swarajyam. This word Swarajyam is explained here, independence. This is very important. We talk about freedom, free will, and what is it? Here, Dhruva Maharaj is saying Swarajyam Yachato Maudhyan Mano me Bhikshito Bata as a child. Ishwarat Shina Punyena Phali Karan Ivadana. So he's saying, because of my state of complete foolishness, when we are fool, what is the value of freedom? And paucity of pious activities. Although the Lord offered me his personal service, I wanted material name, fame, and prosperity. My case is just like that of a poor man who, when he satisfied a great emperor who wanted to give him anything he might ask, out of ignorance asked only a few broken grains of husked rice. The Lord can give the best kind of rice, but I have no understanding, no intention. I am only attached to what? Broken grains of husked rice. And purport, it is elsewhere said. I think it's coming here only. Yeah, but before that, let's try to understand what is Swarajyam. In this verse, the word Swarajyam means complete independence. Is very significant. A conditioned soul does not know what complete independence is, and that's why that is why we think the independence of conditioned soul does not mean to fight with obstacles of Maya, but to surrender to Krishna. So this is what is the real trick. If I surrender to Krishna with whatever free will, then I experience a complete independence, Swarajya, because I am not in the clutches of Maya. In the material world, everyone is trying to become completely independent simply by fighting against the obstacles offered by Maya. This is called the struggle for existence. Real independence is to be reinstated in the service of the Lord. Anyone who goes to the Vaikuntha planets or Goloka Vrindavan planets is freely offering his service to the Lord. There is no restriction. That is complete independence. Just contrary to this material overlordship, which we wrongly take to be independence. Many great political leaders have tried to establish independence, but due to so-called independence, the people's dependence has only increased. One has to surrender, therefore, unto the lotus feet of the Lord and engage in his original eternal service. So Dhruva Maharaj regrets that he wanted material opulence and great prosperity than that of his great grandfather. So the conclusion is that anyone who is engaged in the loving service of the Lord should never ask for material prosperity. The awarding of material prosperity simply depends on the stringent rules and regulations of the external energy. Few devotees ask the Lord only for the privilege of serving Him. This is our real independence. If we want anything else, it is a sign of our misfortune. And then the last verse. So Maitreya Vacha. So in this way, my dear Vajra, persons like you, very important. Now Maitreya is speaking, bringing Viduraji in reference. He is saying, my dear Vidura, persons like you who are pure devotees of the lotus feet of Mukunda, which means the Lord can offer liberation, and who are always attached to the honey of his lotus feet, are always satisfied in serving at the lotus feet of the Lord. In any condition of life, such persons remain satisfied, and thus they never ask the Lord for material prosperity. Because Dhruva is feeling that what kind of thing I have asked. So because Vidura was surprised, why is he not pleased? So he is referring, Maitreya Rishi is referring Vidura and saying, for devotees like you who are always seeking pleasure in the service of the Lord, you know what it is. So, but Dhruva has asked something else, that's why he is displeased. This is also, I mean, all these purports are very nice. This is telling about what is Nishkama Seva or devotion. One has to discharge his devotional duties without being disturbed by coming and going of material circumstances. This desirelessness for material prosperity is called Nishkama, and this is what I was referring to. I was actually looking. Nishkama does not mean that we don't aspire anything. One should not mistakenly think that Nishkama means giving up all desires. That is impossible. A living entity is eternally existent and he cannot give up desires. Living entity must have desires. That is a symptom of life. When there is a recommendation to become desireless, it is to be understood that this means that one should not desire anything for one's sense gratification. For a devotee, this state of mind is called Nishpruha. Spruha is the right position. Actually, every one of us already has an arrangement for our standard of material comfort, and a devotee should just accept it. A devotee should always remain satisfied with the standard of comforts offered by the Lord, as stated in Ishopanishad. This saves time for executing Krishna consciousness. So, from here, I would go ahead, very, very quickly, finishing in 10 minutes or so. Of course, one can go more faster, but I will just give me one second. So there is, then here we see that after Maitreya Rishi is telling, Vidurji, you know what it means, why Dhruva Maharaj might be feeling like that. So, and now Uttanapada, he learns about his son returning. He doesn't believe. He thought his son would have already been dead. Some animal would have eaten, or he would have starved to death, or some forest fire would have caught up. So though the message came, he was doubtful, but because the message came from Narad Muni, so he was happy. He started believing. Although he could not believe the words of messenger, he had full faith in the words of Narad Muni. So then Uttanapad is arranging everything that he can go, and the queens also arranged. Both the queens of King Uttanapada, namely Suniti and Surichi, along with his other son Uttama, appeared in the procession. Yeah. So in that purport, yeah. Yeah, but Dhruva Maharaj was not at home. So what? Yeah, here the queens were seated on the palanquin, and in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that. But still, when the news reached the palace, Dhruva Maharaj was returning. His mother, out of her great compassion and due to being the mother of a great Vaishnava, did not hesitate to take the other wife, Surichi and Uttama, on the same palanquin. That was the greatness of Queen Suniti, the mother of great Vaishnava Dhruva Maharaj. And then, upon seeing Dhruva Maharaj approaching, then Uttanapada, he got down his chariot, he ran to him, breathing very heavily. The king embraced him, and then what happened? But Dhruva Maharaj was not the same as before. He was completely sanctified by the spiritual advancement due to having been touched by the lotus feet of the Lord. This is what happened. Reunion with Dhruva Maharaj. Then what happened? Some torrents of cold tears came. And in the purport, Prabhupada mentions that there are two kinds of tears. One are hot tears, one are cold. The hot tears come when one is in distress. When a person is in distress, the tears are very, very hot. Then Dhruva Maharaj first of all offered his obeisances to his father and was honored by his father with various questions he asked, and then he bowed his head at the feet of his both mothers. And this let me quickly go. Yeah, because there is nice Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's reference. It may be questioned why Dhruva Maharaj offered his respect not only to his mother but also to his stepmother. There is due to whose insult he had to leave home. The answer is that after achieving perfection by self-realization, seeing the personality of Godhead, Dhruva was completely freed from all contamination. Feeling of insult or honor in this material world are never perceived by a devotee. Lord Chaitanya therefore says that one has to be humbler than the grass, and he recommends more tolerant than the tree to execute devotional service. Dhruva Maharaj therefore has in this verse being described as such Janagrani, the foremost of noble person. So and then Surichi, she was very happy to see. She felt very sad what she did, and she blessed him with, my dear boy, long may you live. And then onto one who has transcendental qualities due to friendly behavior with Supreme Lord, all living entities offer honor, just as water automatically flows down in nature. So this is also the question may come. The question may come like why Surichi has changed. We know that she has harsh words and harsh personality. Now it is said because the question may be raised in this connection why Suruchi, who was not at all favorably disposed towards Dhruva, blessed him, long may you live, which means that she also desired good fortune for him. The answer is given in this verse. Since Dhruva Maharaj was blessed by the Lord, due to his transcendental qualities, everyone was bound to offer him all respects and benediction, just as water by its nature flows downwards. A devotee of the Lord does not demand respect from anyone, but wherever he goes, he is honored by everyone throughout the whole universe. The example given is Srinivasacharya says the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are respected throughout the entire universe because a devotee, having pleased the Supreme Lord, the source of all emanations, automatically pleases everyone, and thus everyone offers him respect. Then the two brothers, Uttama and Dhruva, they embraced each other. All these are details. And then comes Suniti. Now Suniti, So what happened? The real mother of Dhruva Maharaj embraced that tender boy, and she forgot all the material grief, for she was very pleased. And then here there is further my let me see the purport. Yeah, in the purport here there is this reference that okay, out of great affection with her tears and breast milk, she was bathing Dhruva Maharaj. And in the purport, when deities are installed, they are washed with milk, yogurt, and water, and this ceremony is called Abhishek. In this verse, it has been especially mentioned that the tears which flowed down from the eyes of Suniti were all auspicious. That's why here there is this reference of wetted. Yeah, here we see that with the tears and milk of Suniti, the boy was favored more auspiciousness. The history of Dhruva Maharaj leaving home was that his father refused to give him a place on his lap, and Dhruva Maharaj determined that unless he got the throne of his father, he would not come back. Now, this Abhishek ceremony performed by his beloved mother was an indication that he would occupy the throne of Maharaj, Uttanapad. So anyway, this is also further side note. And here, when a devotee is also a great hero because he conquers the influence of Maya. When Lord Chaitanya inquired from Ramananda Roy about the most famous man in this world, the latter replied that anyone who is known as a great devotee of the Lord is to be accepted as the most famous. Yeah. Again, all this is description about how he was received. Then these two verses are nice. Yeah, the residents of palace praise the queen. Dear queen, your beloved son was lost a long time ago, and it is your great fortune that he now has come back. It appears therefore that your son will be able to protect you for a very long time and will put an end to all your material pangs. Yeah, the residents of the palace, now they would be seeing all what kind of life she was going through, what kind of pathetic situation she is now. It's a great relief for them also. Sometimes, right, when we see people who are close to us, when they are going through a very suffering time, we are also praying, oh, when the time will come that she will again be happy, he will again be happy. Now the residents are saying to the queen that now your bad time has come to end. So uh, and then next purport, Prabhupada is explaining what is the good fortune, why it happened. Here he's saying you must have worshipped the Supreme Lord. The queens are saying, who delivers his devotees from greatest danger. I think you have done that. Persons who constantly meditate upon him surpasses the course of birth and death. This perfection is very difficult to achieve. And in purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, Dhruva Maharaj was, while Dhruva Maharaj was absent from his home, not only did he undergo severe austerities in the forest of Madhuvan, but at home also his mother prayed to the Supreme Lord for his safety and good fortune. So, in other words, Lord was worshipped by both the mother and the son, and both were able to achieve the supreme benediction from the Supreme Lord. The word Sudurjayam, an adjective which indicates that no one can conquer death, is very significant. When Dhruva Maharaj was away from his home, his father thought he was dead. Whereas here his mother, she is not thinking that he is dead. Rather, she is praying for his good. Ordinarily, a king's son only 5 years old and away from the home in the forest would certainly be supposed dead. But by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, not only was he saved, but he was blessed with the highest perfection. So here we see that Prabhupada mentions that it is both. In other words, the Lord was worshipped by both the mother and the son, and both were able to achieve the supreme benediction of the Lord. So the Lord is so merciful. He is blessing both at the same time. And Maitreya is continuing to glorify the whole, like, oh, what is the palace looks like, how arrangements are done, etc., all these things. And let me 1 second. If I have any notes specific. No, I mean there are some side notes, but nothing as such connected to the lessons that we can take. There is ample amount of lessons that are Prabhupada is giving in the modern days. I think the last purport, let's take and close this. The last one after considering, is it one? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the sign of Rajarshi. King Uttanapada was very opulent and was emperor of the world, and these attachments were certainly very great. Modern politicians are not as great as kings like Mahārāja Uttanapada, but because they get some political power for some days, they become so much attached to their position. This is what we see in today's world. But it is within our experience that politicians in India do not quit their positions until death. This was not the practice in the olden days, as it is evident from the behavior of King Uttanapada, because he made Maharaj Dhruva the king, and then he left to the forest. Immediately after installing his worthy son Dhruva Maharaj on the throne, he left his home and palace. There are hundreds and thousands of instances like this in which kings in their mature age would give up their kingdoms and go to the forest to practice austerity. Practice of austerity is the main business of human life. As Maharaj Dhruva practiced austerity in his early age, his father Maharaj in his olden age also practiced austerity in the forest. In modern days, however, it is not possible to give up one's home and go to the forest to practice austerity. But if people of all ages would take shelter of Krishna consciousness movement and practice the simple austerities of no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, and no meat eating, and chant Hare Krishna mantra regularly 16 rounds, by this practical method, it will be very easy task. It will be a very easy task to get salvation from this material world. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports of 4th Canto 9th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam entitled Dhruva Maharaj Returns Home. Thank you for your patience and hearing. Anything anyone want to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So it was a very nice lecture. In fact, last evening I was thinking, I didn't get the name of, Dhruva Maharaj. So I was thinking about who's this child who wanted to sit on the, lap of Lord Vishnu. But I don't know, the hand of Krishna made me understand the, true story of the Maharaj. So I'm blessed. And Prabhuji, in my, young age, I kind of remember seeing this movie or Amar Chitra Katha, reading that Dhruva Maharaj was denied to sit on his father's lap. So he went to the forest so that he could, pray to Lord Vishnu and sit on his lap. But I think the real story is something different, right? He wanted much bigger thing rather than just sitting on the lap of Lord Vishnu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the intention that Dhruva Maharaj left the kingdom is because of that, right? So that wouldn't make him think, hey, okay, sitting on the lap of Lord is higher than sitting on the lap of my father. So he went out for some other, and but of course it could be a valid scenario also. Maybe in some other Puranas, some other reference could be there which is authentic, through which this Amar Chitra Katha is bringing up, or to show here we are talking about 3 laps. One lap is the lap of his father Uttanapad. One lap is lap of Maya. That we came across. And the third lap is the lap of the Lord, or the actually lotus feet of the Lord. But the point here is to see that the reason why we are also saying Dhruva, being a Kshatriya, his spirit was not to take up to devotion. That was not the spirit. It was more of a challenging spirit that he took. Hey, if I am bereft of this position because of my mother, I will prove myself greater.
Correct, Prabhuji. And also probably, he getting Dhruvaloka, which is also abode of Lord Vishnu, maybe an indirect, referencing that he has got the lap of the Supreme Godhead.
The abode of the Lord.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you. You're saying something, Omkareshwar Babu? You want to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No, nothing, Prabhuji, nothing. Actually, Prabhuji, a very nice katha, बहुत ही like it's was a nectorial katha, बहुत absorbing है, बहुत it's a really absorbing katha.
Very deep, yeah.
From very deep, and
Very deep.
Prabhupada's purport is also very nice, very great. Now, one thing, Prabhuji, there was this point now, like what is the age in Satyuga, then Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So I read one sloka in Brahm Vaivarta Puran. Lord Krishna is saying to Nanda Maharaj, Lakshya Vars Ayushya. So in the Satyuga, Lord Krishna says to Nanda Maharaj, the Ayu, the age in the Lakshya Vars is the Lakshya is 100,000.
Okay.
In Hindi or in English, it's 100,000 or 1 lakh. So in the Satyuga, then 10,000 years in Treta Yuga, 1,000 years in the Dwapar Yuga, and 100 years maximum in the Kali Yuga.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
in purport Prabhupada also, yeah, he refers, yeah.
Yes. So
yeah,
they have mentioned here. Yeah, that's why people were able to do so much of big penances and tapasyas in Satyuga, like Hiranyakashyap did. How many? I don't know, 36,000 or something. Vasisth Muni, Vishwamitra was doing also very high tapasya because of this age.
Don't we see this something like what is it called? I think all of us are coming in the IT industry, right? Information technology or at our projects. Have we heard about agile development, agile methodology, waterfall,
Yes.
agile and all? I think waterfall method was in
Yes.
Satya Yuga, where there is a long systematic. One comes to this age, they have to do this kind of practices. One comes to this age, they have to do this kind of practices. And there is a very, very systematic chronological way of living, to achieve a very, very profound result. I think when we talk about agile in the sense Kali Yuga, right? So we are doing most likely everything in a sprints.
Yes.
So our life, which means how many lifetimes will be there of a Kali Yuga Jeev compared to one lifetime of a Satya Yuga Jeev. We see so many, right? So we are going through this cycle of birth and death quickly, finishing that time frame or a time box, and we are accruing some result. But the beauty is in Kali Yuga we are given that even though we do small, it is very powerful, just like a capsule. Though the capsule is very small, it has such a powerful potent that if we use it properly, it can give us high result.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, exactly. You're right. So what I somewhere listened or heard or like what you did in 12,000 years in Dwapar Yuga or Treta Yuga, you can achieve the same result in 1 year in Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
So
yes. Yeah. So we benefit. We are fortunate to be part of it, to benefit.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
So we can't become like Dhruva Maharaj, who finished the whole job in one life. But because we have taken shelter of this path, it is still not impossible. If we take to this last purport Prabhupada is mentioning, what is that? He's saying that doing japa, following regulative principles in this lifetime, we can do it, which is easy peasy, right? Yeah, thank you. Anyone else want to add? I think Shashwati Mataji, so you read the translations and with the purports, I hope it has enhanced more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. I felt very fortunate to go through this the text and the purports. Prabhuji, I have a question. So in this text, Kamna, there's one and spiritual master, and there is also Lord. And then I heard somewhere, Prabhuji, that so if one pleases spiritual master but not maybe doing the right things, then also he or she can be delivered, but it's not the other way around or something like and here so we saw that Dhruva Maharaj didn't listen to his spiritual master Narada Muni, but still he got a benediction from the Supreme Lord. And is it so because he was very young?
By the way, what did you mean by saying that he didn't follow his spiritual master?
So Dhruva Maharaj was told first not to take this to be envious of the sorry, like he should not take very seriously this thing that what
Yeah.
his brother did or the what the stepmother
Yeah.
did. So this was the like he told first Narada Muni, but still
Yeah.
he
In
he
the
thought no, it's
Yeah.
I still wanted to have something, and that's why he went to do this austerity. So it's in a way not following the instructions from the spiritual master.
Yeah. This is
But
what happens, right? So, no, I mean, when you're saying not following instructions, that was not in a way that Narad Muni, he appeared in the scene, yeah. So he has not become the spiritual master until actually Dhruva has accepted him, his instruction, right? What happened was, it was like, okay, Narad Muni was testing the will power of the boy, huh? So this testing, after the testing, then the diksha happens. Even even in ISKCON or anywhere, we see that the disciple is understanding the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is understanding the disciple before accepting or formalizing it. So that was the phase that was happening. So it's not an offense that, okay, the spiritual master has instructed him go home. Yeah, why will a spiritual master instruct him to go home? A spiritual master is ever eager to engage a devotee in the service of the Lord. But actually, that was a test. Yeah, even if you see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he went to take initiation from his spiritual master, he said, no, no, no. You go to some other one, some other guru. I am not your guru. He was testing, he was sending him away. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he stayed there. No, no, no. If you don't give me shelter, I am hopelessly doomed. So, and in this case, Dhruva Maharaj was saying, hey, your advices are very nice, but not for me because I am a Kshatriya. I still have this thing, that thing. So he is accepting his position and saying, give me something which I can follow.
okay. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
you're getting the
Prabhuji.
point?
Yes, I
And
understood. So yes.
because the guru, of course, has to give the guru also is very careful giving instructions to his disciples so that disciples can really follow it. But how to know that? Through the test. Through these tests, the guru knows what is the capacity, to what capacity his disciples can follow the instructions, because not following the instructions can mean to disobeying, displeasing, and can result to anything. That's why the guru is also testing, is he capable? So it's a test. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I hope it clarifies.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Adirasa Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you. Prabhuji, one question. So Dhruva Maharaj was able to run the kingdom at the age of 5 years. Is it because of his
No,
spiritual
not at
perfection
the age
or
of 5 years. No.
no?
It's not that he started ruling from age of 5. It was that
Okay.
after Uttanapada retired, then he took over.
Okay. I thought that he retired immediately when Dhruva Maharaj came back.
No. I mean,
Okay.
that's maybe I was reading through those texts very quickly, but it's after certain time. Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
After,
Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank
yeah. But of course, that Abhishek, of his mother, all this Prabhupada is mentioning. This is auspicious signs that in near future he will become a king. But that near future is not age of 5.
Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? Anything
Hare
anyone
Krishna,
want to add? Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this lengthy, nice narration. Prabhuji, I wanted to know why Dhruva Maharaj did not reveal his wish of the heart, why he went displeased, he could reveal his heart in front of the Lord that I don't want anything, but you have given.
A boy of 5 years, right? Yeah,
Mm.
he's a boy of 5 years. And then the Lord already said, what is in your heart? I am giving you. And he is also assuring him that, hey, I will give you such a way that you will not be losing. You'll also get that what you want, at the same time perfection.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, he was displeased after Lord gave this all to him. After that, he was displeased not while the Lord was.
No, he was always thinking, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, but yeah, the Lord is assuring him all auspiciousness in both ways. Hmm?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his position, he was displeased, being that he is still again going back to the material, yeah, entanglement or that, and he is thinking that I could have closed the business straight away if I wouldn't have had this desire. That's what he's feeling bad of, having such. He is feeling bad of having such desires in the first place itself.
Mhm.
He is not displeased because Lord has given him that ruling over the kingdom.
Mhm.
Huh?
So,
Don't we
so
repent
he
thinking that,
started.
hey, what kind of desire I have? Huh?
Mhm.
This is very bad desire. So this is the feeling that he's going through.
Mhm. Okay. So why he started this penance? The reason
Yeah.
for that,
Yeah,
due to
yeah,
that, he was feeling.
yeah. So he's feeling how fallen he is, and how conditioned he is. So those were the things, and then he's feeling like, okay, I am totally in illusion. That's why I was having that thoughts. Huh?
Mhm. But probably without that thought, also it would be not possible or for to achieve Lord.
But Nishkama way of living is also there, right? I mean, in case of Dhruva Maharaj, we see this has happened, but it doesn't mean that one has to have a material desire, then only he will be inspired to do worship the Lord. No.
Mhm.
Because the Lord in Gita is saying that one should give up such desires and then they will swiftly engage in devotional service. Otherwise, there is always, I wanted that, and that will, oh, now I have a house, how to save it? Now I have a car, how to protect it? So all these things will be always bothering. Rather, one has to come to a platform of this detachment of the material things.
Mhm.
That's why here Prabhupada in purport mentions, Dhruva Maharaj case is very special case.
Yes, too.
Because he can digest, so he was given the kingdom rule, power of ruling the kingdom.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we know in politicians, if they get one tenure of 5 years, they will take it for 15 years, 20 years, as long as they are there on the chair.
Mhm.
That's also what happens to us.
Yes, true. In this way, also Prabhuji, we see Lord was pleased in 6 months of penance, and in the case of Hiranyakashipu, I heard that it was 60,000 years or so.
Yeah,
So,
that too he was praying to Lord Brahma, not even Lord Vishnu.
yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Prabhu.
yeah. Then another thing is also that Hiranyakashipu, I don't know who is his guru there. Here we see that Dhruva was given Vishnu mantra, and that too from a very best of the Vaishnavas. So it's also, there is this reference now. So anyway, that goes more detail in Ramayana. In Ramayana, that when this payash, this sweet rice comes, there is a way how the sweet rice is distributed between the queens. So there is a, it's also like this pious sweet rice is also like the Lord. So Dasharatha, King Dasharatha has not distributed the sweet rice to all his 353 queens. Yeah, you getting the point? He gave
Yes.
only to the potent 3 queens. who are very suitable to hold the potency, the Shakti of the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Any other points, questions? Apu Prabhu, you were adding something?
Prabhuji, is my surrounding sound is too much, Prabhuji?
No, I can hear. No, I can't hear your surrounding sound.
Okay. Prabhuji, normally who will go to the Dhruva Loka?
I don't know. I only know that this is a place where the rishis, right? When this devastation happens, then they go also there. But will they stay there for a long time, or I don't know. And in the purport, one place Prabhupada is mentioning that this lok is already there, but no one is there. Yeah? So
No one is there. Then
yeah.
how can he will be king? I mean, when he is king, then the activity should have to be there.
Yeah,
That,
but by the time he was there, I mean, this is what it says, that no one was occupying that before. Yeah, of course, Dhruva Maharaj is not going to rule the Dhruva Loka, right?
why not, Prabhuji?
He's not given that responsibility of taking care of Dhruva Loka. He's saying that, yeah, this is your residence where you can stay.
So he will just stay there. That's it.
Yeah, and worship the Lord. Let me see, where is that? Polestar, I think this comes at the Polestar. In order to fulfill results, Lord created a planet known as, which was never to be annihilated even at the time of death. No, not this. I'm looking. Let me. As somewhere, I mean, the purport it came that it was not inhabited by anyone. At the time, perfect Vedic conclusion understood this. Which verse is this? But I don't know. I mean, Apu Prabhu. So who resides there now? I mean, I don't know that. And there is also this reference that after the whole dissolution happens, that Dhruva, enters Vaikunta to worship the Lord.
Yeah, it has written in Bhagavad Gita 18.71 purport.
Bhagavad Gita 18.71.
Yeah.
Okay, what
Generally,
is that?
those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are virtuous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. The word punya karmanam is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices like the Ashwamedha Yagna mentioned in the Vedic literature. Those who are rituals in performing devotional service but who are not pure can attain the planetary system of the polar star or Dhruva Loka, where Dhruva Mahārāja is presiding as a deity form. He is a great devotee of the Lord and he has special planet which is called pole star. It is written like this. Wait. Perform devotional service who are not pure attend the plan. Those who are rituals in performing devotional service but who are not pure can attain the planetary system of the same. No, sorry. It's written only this one.
Okay.
So this is also like a kind of like a benefit of the performing some jagga who will attain the Dhruva Loka. That is Mataji.
Yeah, it looks like for me, Dhruv, like, yeah, whoever do the rituals performance, something like that, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here you see, Apu Prabhu, this is what I was referring in the purport. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all the solar systems, planets, and stars. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, actually, if you remember Katha or the workshop seminar from Hari Parsad Prabhu, there also this point was discussed, and he said this Prapanch Vaikuntha, which Mayavadis are saying they are going to Vaikuntha, this is the Dhruv Loka. This is same. Prapanch Vaikuntha and Dhruv Loka is same.
Yeah. I mean, that is there, Prabhuji, but I do not know who goes there. So that, because here it's clearly, even in Prabhupada's purports also it is mentioned that this is a spiritual abode that is present in the material universe. The Prapancha means material universe. It is present within that, because after this comes the Milky Ocean, after that the Svetadvipa, where Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is residing. So that is that info we have, but who are eligible residents of this, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Prabhuji,
So,
I want
go
to
on.
actually, I want some, I want to clarify my understanding. Prabhuji, that when you tell that Sajuja, Brahma Sajuja Mukti, is it condemnable from our Vaishnava philosophy side, or it is just like a philosophical debate? I mean, in which way actually normally we discuss that term?
So among the muktis, there are these different 5 kinds of muktis, right? And some accept the Sayujya as a mukti. Some only say there are only 4 kinds of muktis. Yeah? And Vaishnava school of philosophy says that it's only 4 kinds, because we also know this, right? There is this different kinds of rasas like Shantaras. Yeah. So in that we usually say Shantaras is also still not an active way of devotion. Yeah. So it is a very passive way of engaging in the service of the Lord. Yeah, where one is still, and here Sayuja Mukti is a stage of attaining a relief from material entanglement, and for that attaining, how one can attain is by minimum getting in contact with the transcendence, which is Brahma Jyoti. But that is not entailing mukti, yeah, as we see here again. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says mukti is actually when we really get connected to the Lord. Yeah. And in Brahma Jyoti also one may see, no, there is also like, okay, one is meditating and but the intention is that thinking of merging with the Lord or feeling oneself as Lord. This is not is accepted by Vaishnava theology. So whereas the Advait philosophy, where there is this understanding that, okay, no, Aham Brahmasmi and I am the Brahman, and so all these understandings, this is what is not accepted. And one who accepts that, they see the Brahmajyoti as the topmost. So that for them, what is the only mukti? That is the mukti. Interestingly, I don't even know whether they have any other kinds of muktis. Just like how in Vaishnava philosophy we are saying this Sayujya is not there. Maybe they will think there is no Sarupya Mukti, Srashti, and all these things, because they may think, okay, there is no Vaikunta, there is no personal form of the Lord. So when there is no personal form of the Lord, how can one take a personal form himself like a Lord? Yeah. Yeah, Abu Prabhu?
Understand, Prabhuji. But actually, my question was actually, how do we actually tell about the Sajuja Mukti? We actually condemn it, or we just discuss actually like a
I mean, what I understand here is that aspirants of Bhakti Yoga, they don't
yes.
aspire for it.
But actually, Prabhuji, when I read something or listen something, I mean, I feel that something which is so harsh that it is more of like we are condemning it. But because this is also like a Shastra Vaikya, so sometimes I have the doubt. I mean, what is my actually understanding is right or not?
Okay,
That we are
okay.
condemning it, or we are actually just like discussing it as like a philosophical point.
When you're saying condemning, is that the understanding of Sayuja Mukti as a Mukti, that understanding is condemned here, right? The understanding itself is not right understanding that this is Mukti, that is condemned. And it's not just kind of info that is shared, or a point of view is given, but actually this is not which is favorable, that's why it's condemned. Because it only leads to one accepting something that is not uh, what is desired in the path of devotion. So we are refuting that, refuting the understanding that Sarija Mukti is, Mukti in itself. Yeah, we don't accept it, or at least we see that in the school, of Vaishnavism, we do not accept, because it is only a stage of something that is, first of all, yeah, as I was giving analogy with reference to these Shantaras, right? So yeah, this is not actually what is really. This is only a beginning, or so to say, and one can be in that. They can have to come back and all these things, due to which we do not recommend. That's why it's condemned to go in that path.
Sorry, Prabhuji, you are bewildering me more, because as far as I till now was thinking is this: we consider it as a, like a mukti or moksha, but we don't consider for the Vaishnavas that okay, we really need to go for it or aspire for it.
Yeah.
I mean, till now that was my actually was understanding.
Mhm.
But actually, Prabhuji, I actually read some other points of view. I mean, to understand that how they think the Brahma Sadhuja, whoever worship them, they actually sometimes they also think like that. I mean, for our case, we give actually one logic is this: when we actually enter in the Brahmacharya Mukti, we will be like a sthavar. I mean, Chaitanya Charitamrita is called like a sthavar, means like a you are idle, so you do nothing, just like a meditating, so like a sthavar, and you don't do any service. So that is our actually one logic point. But they're actually telling that no, it is also service, because you are actually in there, and this is your position, original position, and this is also like a service. And they tell one example is this: what kind of service it is? It is like a servant is sleeping. So suppose you have a servant and he's sleeping, you will not tell that okay, he's not my servant. So you still consider him as a servant. So I mean, they actually give that logic, okay, that in that case it can be like that. I mean, it's not literally like that, but something like that. So I mean, of course, from philosophical discussion point of view, it can be goes. I mean, here and there. But my understanding was that we consider it as a like a moksha, but we don't go for it. I mean, as a Vaishnava philosophy, we think that it is not that much superior.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
why it's
inferior.
condemned, right? That's why
So
it's condemned to be counted as a moksha, right? Real mukti. So what you are saying is that, I mean, I do not know, through the reference you are given, like okay, one person is still in service while sleeping, yeah, but he's not acting, he's not doing service, active service in his sleeping state, but still he is devotee. So what you are saying is the identity of a person is still as a devotee, but he is not engaging in the service. That's what you are saying, no?
yes, bro.
Okay, good point. Yeah, I don't know. I have to, yeah, read more, get a better understanding. As far as, I mean, I in the nectar of devotion, there is this reference about this mukti, and also in Bhagavatam in different places we come across where this, uh, more of this Sayuja Mukti being, because getting one in Brahma Jyoti is condemned. Yeah, so condemned mean because of that identity we don't think that is the ultimate goal, or that is what the path. We don't have to go through this Sayuja Mukti to attain the pure love of Godhead. Yeah, because if one is going in Sayuja Mukti, is he engaging in the loving service of the Lord? Because the service itself is absent, so that's why it's not the position that we take. Yeah, yeah, but
Actually, in Jaiva Dharma, there is
yeah, tell.
Krishna.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Jaiva Dharma, there is actually one paragraph was there. So he actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur was mentioned there that when ad- what is the Guru Babaji that Advaita, the Shiva came as a like Advaitavadi, no? Shankaracharya. So he mentioned, the Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned that when Shankaracharya mentioned that you will be, I mean, you will get the Sadhuja Mukti. So his inner meaning was that you will not be merged into the God. I mean, it's more of a like you will be part and parcel of the Brahma Jyoti, but your identity will be there. I mean, it was his inner meaning. Later, it was like his follower later they actually diluted it in more dynamic way. So it was not the actual case of the what Shankaracharya actually was thought. I mean, it was like Bhaktivinoda Thakur's philosophy. But at that time also, he gave one actually example is this, that when you want to test something, it's like a ashadam in the Bengali, test something, then something should have to be different from the who is testing. Suppose I am the owner, I want to test something, food or something, test object should have to be in front of me. Then only the test will come. So it's like a ashadon, ashadda and ashadita. So three terms Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned. So he told that, I mean, there is one question is that even after getting the Sadhujya Mukti also, the relation with the God, with the Prem can be possible or not. So in that reference, he was actually given the answer. He told that if someone follows the Shankaracharya's inner meaning, still it is possible. Because in that case also, he was not actually losing his identity. So he is still different from the test object. So he is still possible. But whatever right now the Mayavadi philosophy is doing, in that case, it is like a suicide. Then it is not possible. Because in this case, there is no difference between the object and who is actually on to test.
Okay.
So I'm getting actually little from somewhere, but not getting the full
Maybe
picture of it.
why don't you check with Hariparshad Prabhu, because he would definitely have a lot of info on this.
Maybe I can try, because I have actually one also doubt that because we sometimes quote that Srila Prabhupada tell that even Sadhujya Mukti also they fall down. But I had one question also in that normally Mukti means when you even leave your subtle body also. I mean gross body and subtle body. And after that coming back, then how can he get the again body? Because normally in the material world, we get the body according to our previous karma and whatever.
Yeah, but that is the reason now. What we are saying is that here, I think in this Ayurja Mukti, this is not. And also, even if Omkareshwar Prabhu was referring this Pramachika, so the person, I don't know whether he is already leaving the subtle body in this Ayurja Mukti. Yeah, it is that he still has. There is this karma result should be there, because then he is also given a body according to his, and then again practice. So I don't know whether the subtle body is left when one is reaching this Ayurja Mukti. That's a very nice point. Yeah, worth checking.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's look up. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so much technical. You're asking a wrong person here. Okay. Any other things anyone want to add or share before we close the call? Someone comment they are leaving. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then thank you very much. Vanchakalpurabhyascha kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare Krishna.